Welcome back to another video, folks. I've got a little finished project for you here, put in the centre of the scene for which it was designed, the original, and that is. As you can see, there's been some pretty poor driving going on here with these Panther tanks, and they need a recovery. And that's what I have been working on. This is the old Battlefront Berg Panther, but the friend I was painting it for, he wanted it to go with his Panther Gs. These are all Panther Gs. You can tell in the main from, well, leaving aside the turret, you can tell from the front glasses that's the most obvious difference. Now, the original Berg Panther kit is based on a Panther D, I think it is, the initial version that was produced, and that had the firing aperture for the MG wasn't a ball mount. It was like a little slit that would open up, and it had a driver's hatch on the front glasses as well. And the Panther G had a stronger ball mount and no driver's hatch to make the front plate stronger. And it also had, because there was no driver hatch, it had a periscope. So I had to do a few changes to this. As you can see, I've replaced the firing slit with a ball mount. That's just from the plastic Panther sprue. And I've removed the driver's hatch, and with a bit of green stuff just created the periscope that the driver can look out of, and also simplified the periscopes on the MG gunner's side as well. And that's basically all I wanted to do to make it look like a G. Anything else would have to be considerably time consuming and more to do with scale modelling than just getting the look that I desired. So one other obvious thing with this is the crane isn't there. It's in the stored position, partly because this no pun intended, is a recovery of a recovery vehicle. This was bought by my friend second hand, and it was all beaten up, bashed up, had lots of things stuck to it. Some of it's quite useful, like the stowage, but there was some really horrible things happening in the crew compartment, for instance. So it made sense to have the crane in the stored position, and therefore painted with the camouflage as it would have been if it had been painted in the stored position, so the camo matches the hull. And also makes it look different again from the Berg Panther, the standard Berg Panther that he's already got in his collection. This one doesn't have the spade either, but once again it makes it look a bit different. Now I've painted this with my late war German 3-tone colours, which for Vallejo are Panzer Ace's Italian tank crew, and then it's model colours, saddle brown and dark sand, with a pin wash, enamel pin wash. And then I've airbrushed some dust along the shores, and as you can see there, but also on the front, on the bottom of the glasses plate, and also on the tops, well, and the bit all above the front fenders there. And then I've given it a bit of an enamel wash with some dust. When I say dust, I mean enamel dust wash, and used that plus some brown enamel wash to make some streaks. So it's got a bit of a weathered look on this heavy use of pigment on the wheels. They were washed with the brown enamel wash, and then when it was all dried up and a coat of gloss varnish over the running gear, I then put on a coat of pigment powder. And remember folks, when I use pigment powder, I don't tap it onto the figure like you will see in large scale modelling, because it's not going to work on a figure of this size. You want to mix it up in a palette, pretty much like a wash, and then apply it. And less is more. when it comes to pigments, because once you get it on, it's hard to get it off. And you can also see, hopefully, there's some splashes of mud on it. That's just been used with a bit of good old bit of packing foam and into the wash that I've made with the pigments. And then it's got a couple of crew, just standard plastic Panzer crew that are on issue with all the kits these days. And as most interesting pictures of Berg Panthers come with some kind of MG mount or mounting, I've just used the MG mount from a 251 half track. There's various options that you can take there. But there you go, that's going to be a nice interesting little addition to my friend's collection. He always comes up with little interesting projects. And on the subject of interesting projects, he also asked me to make a couple of ambulances, 251 ambulances. So we had a look at some historical pictures to get a couple of different kinds. So this one here is a quite improvised, in as much as it's got painted panels on the side with the Red Cross, but on the top canopy and across the front it's just got sheets. On the back got a big Red Cross painted on the back. And this guy here is a bit more purpose built, painted panels right the way across the whole vehicle, including on the back door, and it's also got a taller raised canopy. That's based on an historical picture, as is the drum on the side there. I'm not sure what its purpose is. I've heard it's maybe for keeping extra supplies of water in. Maybe it opens up in the middle like a storage bin. Maybe it's opens up in the middle and becomes a barbecue, for all I know. But it's a nice feature, and it adds a nice bit of character, a nice talking point to this as well. It's pinned on as well. It's not just glued on, it's drilled in through the hull. Now the canopies are made out of card bases and milliput, so they're really strong. These could be made out of a number of different things, including green stuff, including paper mache, all sorts of things, but I wanted them to be really strong and durable, because you know what wargame figures are like. So I made a card base that completely filled in the open cavity, glued that in place. For this guy, I then built up the sides and then put another bit of card on and put supports, which is just carved card. This one just went straight to the supports, just little bits of card cut into curves. And then I bulked up the basic shape before working a bit more carefully to create all the folds, creases that you would see on a canopy. And you can see here as well I put some tie downs for the improvised signs, improvised banners, and then painted it with my usual German fuel grey colours, which is Panzer Ace's dark mud with a highlight of model colour green grey, and the shade colour is also that's model colour olive drab. So there's a couple of really nice, in fact 3 really nice vehicles for recovering one thing or another. One for recovering vehicles, one for recovering people, and some nice additions to a French collection. Now obviously this guy's going to have to get busy, and because I can't be bothered putting all these guys away, he's going to have to get them out here and have a word with the commanders and say your tank crew with their lovely new Panther Gs late in the war don't really know what they're doing, they're not being trained. So please get on to that, make my job a lot easier. Anyway, There you go, folks. Hope you enjoyed that. I'll see about keeping these videos coming and see what other projects, and there are some already on the go, that I can share with you in the near future. Thanks for watching.